Okay, so recently I've been stirring the pot with a lot of posts on Instagram saying that people just don't know how to shop at dispensaries. People have been complaining that you can't get anything good at dispensaries, that you have to spend upwards of $60 or more to get something good, or that the product is always bad, or that the bud tenders have no idea what's good or bad and they just try to push whatever the dispensary wants them to push. And while some of that is true, a lot of it is user error. So today I will be giving you the tips and tricks on how I have such a high success rate at buying cannabis at a dispensary. Because trust me, there's some good things, there's some bad things, and there's some things that the industry just don't want you to know. But let's get into it. That brings me to tip number 1. Percentages are not everything. Everyone comes into the dispensary looking for high THC this or high THC that. And while THC plays a very important role in your experience, now that we know about terpenes, it's important to realize the relationship between the two and realize that one isn't more important than the other and that it's them working together. Also playing in the fact that there's other cannabinoids playing a role too. So once you know exactly what you're looking for and what each terpene cannabinoid does, we can really hand tailor the experience that you're looking for. I've had some strains upwards of 31, 32, 33%, and because it had such little terpenes, there was really nothing special about it. Sure, it got me high, but there was no distinguishing qualities about it to make me want to come back to it a second time. I've had strains that were 15% THC that knocked me on my ass and had a great terpene profile. So I think when I'm purchasing, I take into account the lineage of the strain, the terpenes, and the THC. I like a nice balance. There are so many different terpenes out there, so what I like to do is I like to look at my favorite strains and see what the top testing terpenes are. So that way when I'm trying a new strain that I may have never heard of, if the terpenes are similar to the ones of the strain that I do enjoy, I know that it should be a similar experience. At the same time, there's people who chase high THC. Now there are people who only chase high terps, which in my opinion, you have a higher success rate doing that, but you can still come up with some misses. It's just a lot harder to. Now, in Maryland, they don't have deli style, so we can't actually see what we're purchasing. So we rely on things like word of mouth. We have Reddit, Instagram, and we go off a lot of peer review and a lot of stuff like that. But if you are in a state that allows deli style, what I would recommend is looking at it. Take a nice smell of it if you can. Does it smell fresh? Does it smell like hay? If it smells like hay, it probably wasn't cured right and it could probably go for a little bit longer. What's the color looking like? Is it dull? Is it bright green? Does it look like a healthy plant? What are the trichomes looking like? These are all things to take into account. I get excited when I say trichomes, I apologize. I had to take a quick little minute to, What do the trichomes look like? Deli style is personally something I wish Maryland had. However, because I still work in the industry, I don't want to deal with it. So I understand why we don't have it. As a consumer, I absolutely want it. So, kind of a rock and a hard place. If you have a high THC strain, like 28%, 30%, and then you have 3% terps or 3.5% terps, that shit is going to sell off the shelf. It's like nobody's business. It's going to be gone. If you're one of those people that actually like to talk to bud tenders, there's a couple questions you want to ask. What is everyone smoking in here? What are some brands you stay away from? What is really selling? You want to ask yourself a couple questions. First one being, what's my budget? Don't go in there asking for the highest THC anything or the highest percentage anything. If you have a low budget, you have to know what you're looking for. Now, what's more appropriate to ask for is, hey, I have X, Y, and Z to spend, and I just want the best quality, for my budget. And a bud tender can work with that. They can actually work with that. If you go in asking for the highest THC and you have a $20 budget, you're gonna get the highest THC for $20, which could be very well 20%. I say all that to say, when you walk into a dispensary, there's gonna be good bud tenders, there's gonna be bad bud tenders. And if you're not gonna be good at picking out your cannabis, at least be good at distinguishing the difference between a good bud tender and a bad bud tender. And once you find a good bud tender, tip them well and never stop going to them, because they're gonna give you great treatment and that they're gonna give you good service. So why fuck that up? Why go to a different place? You know what I mean? So there you have it. Those are the tips and the steps that I go through whenever I personally go and purchase cannabis. And I hope that helps you just even a little bit. But before I get out of here, I gotta take a bong rip with y'all. So go ahead, pack your bowl, get your dab ready, take your edible. Cheers. That was a great one. That's my first bong rip of the day. Whew. Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit me on the podcast as well. Get to the joint if you came from here. Don't forget to leave that in the comments so we know where y'all came from. I appreciate y'all, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.